Welcome to the Chris Hanna Show, your go-to podcast for diving deep into the world of solopreneurship. I'm Chris Hanna. I'm the all-in solopreneur. I've been there and I've done that in the realm of creating multiple one-person businesses. Each episode, I'm here to share with you all the insider tips, tricks, and lessons learned, sometimes the hard way, that have shaped my journey. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to scale your solo venture, this show is your personal playbook for success. So buckle up and join me as we explore the highs, the lows, and everything in between on the road to successfully winning as a solopreneur. Let's go all in. In today's fast-paced world, finding harmony between work and life can seem like an impossible feat. As a solopreneur, the line between work and personal life can blur. It can cause stress, it can cause burnout, but it doesn't have to be this way. So today's episode of the Chris Hanna Show, I'm going to be talking about that fine line and that balance between work and life. Because when you're doing everything yourself as a solopreneur, it's hard. It's also lonely. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Like, it is very lonely being a solopreneur. But as a solopreneur, it's all on you. Like, if you don't sell, you don't have any business coming in. If you don't do the work, you don't got your business taken care of. You don't market, nothing's happening either. Like, you're doing everything yourself. And so it's hard, which means you put in long hours and you work maybe different times of the day, depending on when you're trying to fulfill versus trying to get shit done. I'll admit it, like when I first became a solopreneur, I didn't appreciate the fact of how much hours you'd have to put in, the time it takes to build something, to craft something, to be flexible for when customers ultimately need you. It's not a 9-to-5 job being a solopreneur. Now, in time, you can build it, the right systems, process, tools, have the right resources to make it more sustainable. And I definitely have done that. But at first, I felt like I was all over the place, working more hours probably than I probably needed to, and definitely more than I did throughout my career. But again, I was more fulfilled, so I didn't care. I didn't care about how many hours I put in because I enjoyed it so much more. But eventually you have to find a balance because it can't all be about work. And it's hard when you're a solopreneur. And in my case, I'm a solopreneur, primarily working from my home office. I'm in my house, in my house all the time, unless I'm going out and seeing clients in person. So it would be tough. And it takes a toll, I think, on you from a relationship standpoint as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is when you're trying to achieve that balance between work and life, you gotta find a way somehow to set some level of boundaries. Now that could be maybe having designated hours that you're going to work and kind of sticking to them. But this is going to allow you to be more fully present, I think, in your personal life without the constant distractions from work. So for me, I knew when I created my business that I wanted to have Fridays off. There were no meeting Fridays. I fucking hated Friday meetings. I couldn't stand it when I was in my career. At different points in my career, I'd have meetings that were like late on a Friday and I'd have no energy and I'd be just looking forward to the weekend. I remember being fucking screwed over early on in my career where I missed a flight because work went long on a Friday. So I said, I'm going to work longer hours, probably Monday through Thursday, to get shit done, to enjoy, and always have a long weekend. That was the business I wanted to create, and that's what I've done, but I had to set those boundaries. Now, have I had to break those rules? A few times. Not a lot, but a few times I've had to, where I go in and I join a meeting, or I've had to go and traveled for a client, maybe doing some work on a weekend, because that's when the work could get done. But I'd say in the last year, I'm talking a handful of times. Like, I will do work on a Friday. It's not a day off, but it will be a no meeting day. I'm not connecting with clients. I'm not connecting with other people. I'm not batch recording content. I'm not doing a lot of that stuff on a Friday, if at all possible. It's my absolute last resort. But that's a boundary I had to create because my goal would be, and especially when my wife's not, in school, because right now she's in school at the time of this recording, I want to be able to sit there and we can spend time. If we wanted to duck away somewhere, want to go on a vacation for a weekend or whatever it is, we can do whatever the fuck we wanted to do by having Fridays somewhat more free and flexible. That was important. But you got to set those boundaries. The other thing I thought that was really critical that I learned is to really start to incorporate some self-care into your daily routine. Like, it could be about taking time to recharge and maybe rejuvenate a little bit. Um, I've never been one to do meditation, but I know people who have done it and that they've talked about that being really beneficial. Exercising. I probably should do more of it, but I would do a lot of walking. Actually, I did more walking in the past year as a solopreneur. I'd walk and talk and record videos out and about, or I would just walk and listen to music or a podcast and get some ideas and inspiration. Here in Windsor, Ontario, we've got a wonderful, wonderful riverfront that we can walk along and see all the ships coming in and, just enjoy the water and the view, which is really, really cool. But like finding something to kind of separate yourself from the day to day, or go and engage in different hobbies that you enjoy. But like ultimately, I think if you want to have better balance, it's going to be about having self-care and taking care of yourself in a way where you can step away from the business and relax. Also, really critical and important is to really nurture those relationships and connect with those loved ones. So in our family, it's just my wife and I. We don't have any kids, but we're really trying to make sure that we're getting time to spend together. And so we love hockey, so we have season tickets to the Windsor Spitfires here in town. So we'll go and we'll see those games. We'll watch those. We're going out and connecting with each other through other ways, right? Let's go out and have a nice, drinks or dinner elsewhere, or go to the movies. We ended 2023 and started 2024 on a 3-week long adventure going to Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. And that was awesome to be, again, creating some memories together, to connect, spending time with Raquel's family. That's my wife's name. I was amazing to be able to do that. And so it's those moments of joy and fulfillment that are going to help you as you're going through tough times as a solopreneur as well. What I found really beneficial, that I've probably gone the most all in on to help me gain time back and to ultimately, I would say, become more balanced, is leveraging technology and tools to streamline my work processes. Like, obviously, we all know, anyone who's following me, that like I love to batch create content. So there's ways to do that. But like I'm talking about like technology that saves you time, like in terms of, how work is done, making it quicker. So what once might have taken you an hour, maybe takes you 20 minutes. So you gain 40 minutes back, which again, you can reallocate that to be more the personal side of your life. Like right now, I'll be honest, I'm batch creating some of these podcast episodes. And the system that I have set up to help me do it is saving me a ton of time. I am now 8 episodes in at the time of this recording for these episodes for the Chris Hanna Show. I've not had to re-record any of them. I've not had to edit any of them because I'm using the right systems, the right tools, technology. It's helping to make my life easier. Like as we are speaking, I have it on another monitor right now, them being edited right now at this point by technology helping me do it. That's the power of technology. It gives you time back, and time is the one resource we can never really truly get back, because once it's gone, it's gone. And this is the cool thing, is I'm using technology to help produce this podcast, and that's making my life so much easier. Now, finding that harmony, that balance as a solopreneur between navigating the personal world and the work world, it requires commitment and it requires effort. Like it's a certain level of intentionality. Like I say, being a solopreneur has been an adventure. And as it being an adventure, it's a journey more than anything else. And it's ultimately the most fulfilling one. Like I'm more fulfilled now than any other point in my career. But it's not about like sacrificing work for your personal world. Like it's not an either or situation. Like my wife understands that obviously I need to be able to work, to put in the time and effort to give us hopefully the life that we're trying to build together. So when I feel like I need to work, I work. When I don't need to work, I don't work, right? But it's finding that integration versus the balance, because the balance can feel like either or, but it's integrating everything together. So you're well balanced on the work side and you have a personal life that ultimately hopefully works for you. And sometimes those blend together, and sometimes some weeks are going to be really, really heavy on work, and some weeks it might not be. It's going to ebb and flow, but you got to be willing to work at it and find those moments. And I know that this is the last episode I'll probably record today, because then we'll go and make dinner together, and then we'll go enjoy another hockey game tonight at the time of, again, of this recording. So again, finding that balance, that integration, that's critical. I'm wondering what works for you, right? Like, how do you manage to make sure that you're balanced between your personal and work life world? Like, I'd love for you to, tag me in some comments on social media, tell me what works for you. If you found value in what we've talked about here today, I want to say thank you for either listening or watching to this. If you found it helpful, make sure you subscribe to our channel, because there's going to be more content that's going to be coming. That's going to be, again, helping you as a solopreneur, you grow, thrive, and prosper. At the end of the day, it is hard to be a solopreneur, and that's why I really wanted to put this together. Like, I've been doing it for a year. Again, I haven't been doing it forever, but I've been doing it for a year, and I've learned a ton. I've learned more in 1 year than I probably learned in the last 20 years of building and leading teams for other people in other industries. Working for myself was the best decision I ever made. It's the most fulfilling decision I've ever made. But it is hard, and it is scary at times, and it's definitely lonely at times, but you got to find that way to balance it all out. And if I can sit there and share some insights that helps even one person, it's all worth it. All right, that's it for me this week on this episode of the Chris Hanna Show. Again, whatever you do, remember, go all in. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Chris Hanna Show. Thank you for tuning in and going all in with me on this journey. If you're craving more opportunities to supercharge your solopreneur journey, don't forget to visit allincontent.ca. At All In Content, we're dedicated to providing top-tier content creation and strategy services. We help solopreneurs like you make a big impact with your one-person businesses. We do this through video creation. We not only record, edit, caption those videos, we also schedule them on social media for you so that you have a consistent presence that continues to bring you business month after month after month. Remember, in the world of solopreneurship, your story is your strength, and we're here to help you tell it. Until next time, stay motivated, stay focused, and more importantly, stay all in. I'm Chris Hanna, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Keep pushing boundaries and making waves.